Coming up on the news tonight, President Buhari calls for overhauling of African Union to remain relevant in intergovernmental processes. Ogun State government wants leadership of National Union of Road Transport Workers to stay away from parks and garages. SERAP urged World Bank to release archival documents on approved funds for electricity projects. Dozens missing fell dead after glacier crashes into dam in northern India. When the power of love overcomes the love of power, the world will know peace. Hello and welcome to our comprehensive news package here on Ogun State Television. I am Olayinka Shodunke. The entire citizenry have been admonished to imbibe the spirit of saying good prophecy about Nigeria and pray fervently for the nation to overcome all its challenges and be great again. This formed the crux of sermons by clerics in almost all the churches visited in Abeokuta metropolis by Ogtv news crew during the first Sunday service in the month of February. Benga Adekoya has the details.
With strict adherence to COVID-19 protocols, Christian faithful in Abeokuta metropolis trooped out in large numbers to participate in the first Sunday service in the month of February. In the course of the service, clerics enjoined Nigerians to join hands together and pray for the nation to overcome all its challenges.
Let's tune into seeing goodness in this nation. By the time we see goodness, there will be less complaint. Of course, many of us that prayed, after prayer meeting, we still go there and say negative things about this country. Now let's see goodness about this country.
This month, God will make all of us to rise up to the challenges that are surrounding us as a nation, as a family, or as individual, that we can do better.
We just want the Christianity, the Christians, to take control and make sure that they pray for the nation.
Clerics, however, admonished faithful to always observe COVID-19 protocols to complement government efforts towards tackling the pandemic.
We have the issue of COVID-19 ravaging. We have the issue of herdsmen plus farmers ravaging everywhere. We just want to appeal to people that they should be peaceful.
Being the first Sunday service of the month, faithful give glory to God for seeing yet another month. Prayers were offered for the peace and progress of Ogun State and Nigeria at large. Benga Adekoya, Ogtv News.
Seeking the face of God in prayers, doing His will at all times, and keeping His commandment have been identified as the only way out of the current social, economic, and security challenges facing the nation. Primate of the African Church worldwide, His Eminence Julius Olayinka made this known during his episcopal visit to Abeokuta Diocese, Ogun Province of the African Church. Matthew Shomi completes the report.
After over 1 year since his last visit to the Ogun Province of the African Church, Primate of the African Church worldwide, His Eminence Julius Olayinka is delighted to be back in Abeokuta to see the progress of God's work and is being received with fanfare. At the special Sunday service to commemorate the episcopal visit, Primate Olayinka said it is time for the nation to turn to God, who holds the key of life and capable of turning every bad situation around for good.
All of us should join hands together to pray for this nation and wish this nation well. Irrespective of what we passed through last year, definitely this year is going to be a lot better if we all put our trust in the Lord
Primate Abe admonished the faithful to hold steadfastly unto God, stressing the importance of keeping God's commandments and continuous thanksgiving as some of the prerequisites to enjoy his goodness. The cleric expressed his happiness to see the progress the Ogun province of the African Church has made and praised the contributions of members to the progress of the church.
The diocese has been one of the leading dioceses in the African Church, and this is a new year, and it affords us the opportunity to say congratulations for making it to the new year and to wish the entire diocese well in all their endeavors.
Archbishop of Ogun Province, Most Reverend Solomon Ojumu, described the episcopal visit of the primate as an opportunity to access the progress of the work of God and praised His Eminence for providing quality spiritual leadership. National Conference Secretary of the African Church, Bayo Ogundemu, said the visit is unprecedented in the history of the church and called on all faithful to see it as an opportunity to renew their dedication to the work of God.
In the annals of the history of the church as a whole, I've never witnessed the kind of welcome that was extended to the primates today. Then you can also see the turnout. Members of the church from all over the diocese came out to meet the primates, and you can see that everybody is happy that the primate is in our midst.
After a Thanksgiving session, prayers were offered for the faithful, the church, the entire body of Christ, the government, Ogun State, and the nation. Matthew Shomi, Ogtv News.
Now, away from the religious front, Ogun State government has warned the leadership of the National Union of Road Transport Workers (NURTW) and the operatives to stay away from all parks and garages in the state to avoid incurring the full wrath of the law. In a statement issued on Sunday by the Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Alhaji Abdulwahid Odushile, this warning became necessary in view of the intelligence report by the security agencies that the union is planning to resume collection of dues and revenues on behalf of the government at the motor parks and garages in the state against the existing decision of the government banning the activities of the NURTW in all the motor parks and garages in the state. It will be recalled that following crisis in the leadership of the NURTW in the state that threatened security of lives and properties, particularly public transport in the state, the House of Assembly in June 2020 passed a resolution suspending the activities of the union in the state. The government subsequently banned the activities of the union in all motor parks and garages in the state. The statement added that security agencies have been given firm directive to arrest and prosecute any operative of the NURTW or indeed anyone, group or association that has not been approved by the government to act on its behalf that attempts to defy the decision of the government or test its resolve to maintain peace and security in all parts of the state, including the motor parks. Nigerians have been advised on the need to always go through content of documents before appending their signatures on financial documents. This was the view of financial experts while speaking on the risk involved in acting as guarantor, which can make such individual liable to repay debts incurred by the borrower. Shemilore Makonju has the details.
A guarantor is a person or entity that agrees to be responsible for another person's debt under an agreement if the other fails to pay. Records have shown that some have either absconded with their loans or died before a repayment period, which has put their guarantors in a big mess.
Being a guarantor basically is that you are holding yourself out instead of the person that you are standing as a guarantor for, or that you will be bound to do some certain things, whether by paying a certain bound or by being substituted for a particular purpose if you are standing as a guarantor. So the implication is you are inheriting the liability and responsibility of the person you are standing as a guarantor for.
The implication is like putting yourself in a line, putting yourself, telling the person that you will be you are capable. Anytime this person is not coming up with a payment, I will pay.
Despite the risks involved with being a guarantor for someone else's loan, people are ignorant of the implications if the original debtor fails to perform his obligations.
I will advise that before people paint their signature, fill forms, standing as a guarantor or as a referee or as a surety for other persons, they must know the person very well and they must be ready to stand instead of that person, or take up the responsibility eventually if the person defaults from the contract.
See, before you stand guarantor for it, you have to be somebody you know very well. That when that person is asking for credit or in a court of law, you have to be sure that you have at least 50% or 80% authority on that person.
Before committing to such responsibility, guarantors were advised to ensure the borrower has the financial ability to repay the loan. Shemiluri Makwaju, Ogtv News.
Social Economic Rights and Accountability Project has urged the World Bank President, Mr. David Malpass, to exercise the bank's prerogative to release archival records and documents relating to suspending or spending on all approved funds to improve access to electricity in Nigeria between 1999 and 2020. The bank's role in the implementation of any funded electricity project and to identify and name any executed project and Nigerian officials, ministries, departments and agencies involved in the execution of such projects. The World Bank Board of Directors had last week approved $500 million to help boost access to electricity in Nigeria and improve the performance of the electricity distribution companies in the country. But in the application dated 6th of February 2021 and signed by SERAP Deputy Director Kolawole Oluwadare, the organization urged the bank to explain the rationale for the approval of $500 million to implement electricity projects in the country, despite reports of widespread and systematic corruption in the sector and the failure of the authorities to enforce a court judgment ordering the release of details of payments to allegedly corrupt electricity contractors who failed to execute any project. President Muhammadu Buhari has made a strong case for African leaders to work vigorously to ensuring a more productive, self-sufficient and purpose-driven organization that will fully serve the interest of their people. Contributing to the debate in the Forum of the African People, the president maintained that global realities demand that the union must be overhauled to remain relevant in the intergovernmental organization. The debate held behind closed doors followed the submission of comprehensive report of the institutional reform of African Union by President Paul Kagame of Rwanda. President Muhammadu Buhari told the African leaders that Nigeria demands a truly reformed and effective African Commission that is fully committed to the discharge of its duties and responsibilities. He assured them of his country's full support and abiding commitment towards ensuring that the reform process is successful. Foreign Affairs Minister Godfrey Oyema attended the closed-door session.
Also in impactful governance. Nigeria is one of the big contributors to the AU, and you want to see the benefits of what you're paying for, you see, and also the vision that we have for, for Africa. As I said, the Africa we want. We have a 2063 agenda, a roadmap, and it aligns and tallies very much with Mr. President's general vision. Peace and security, good governance. He's been champion of the anti-corruption program of the African Union. So he also wants to see, that institutionalized.
President Buhari calls for collaboration and greater coherence among all stakeholders towards the attainment of Agenda 2063. Meanwhile, Nigeria's candidate, Ambassador Bankole Adeoye, has been elected as the new Commissioner for Political Affairs, Peace and Security of the African Union Commission. Ambassador Adeoye was well supported by all the 55-member country of the African Union. The President, Moussa Faki Mahamat, was returned unopposed as the chairman of the African Union Commission. The National Assembly has reassured that it will submit the Electoral Act Amendment Bill to President Muhammadu Buhari for his assent before the end of February. Senator Kabiru Gaya, Chairman, Senate Committee on Independent National Electoral Commission, disclosed this when he spoke at a forum in Abuja. Gaya said that the committee was doing its best to ensure an electoral act that will guarantee free, fair and credible elections in the country. Insecurity generally affects the development of any nation or the society, as it is a major challenge affecting social, economic and political growth of the country. In the special report, Olajumoke Oladipupo samples the opinion of stakeholders on the effect of insecurity to the economy and possible solutions. Our reports.
Security is an essential prerequisite for true and lasting economic growth to take place. Hence, the need for government to protect domestic and foreign investment by stepping up its national security.
Insecurity started from home, our individual home. Look at our home. When we are having our children, two of them eating at the same time, the elderly one beats up the younger one to collect his meat on the food. We are not seeing it as insecurity.
The insecurity at the moment is really taking a bite on the contribution people could make into our economy.
Insecurity poses a threat to governance and economic growth in troubled nations. As people who are in fear can no longer work productively, the displacement of people reduces production of exports, thereby reducing foreign exchange earnings, import potentials, and consequently further constraining output, leading to a decline in employment and earnings.
Most of the commercial things we are doing, you have to do haulaging. And when you put your goods on the road and you are waylaid and taken from you, you are not happy.
The business Mongol, when they are kidnapped, the kidnappers demanded ransoms from them. And you believe that if this thing continues like this, many of them will have to fold up their businesses in the country. Even farmers could not go to the farm.
According to respondents, the havoc insecurity is wreaking on the economy is quite discouraging, as the menace remains a threat to governance and economic growth of the country.
I want to appeal to the federal government to do the needful and ensure that the people security takes the paramount order.
So everybody needs to be on top of it. The government needs to either equip all the organizations, security organizations, equip them the more, give them better pay, and they even give them insurance.
We are the genesis of our own fallings. So it is better for us to go back home and sit to your home, maintain perfect security there. From there, we move out to the society.
They added that, not minding the devastating effects of insecurity on the economy, all citizens should join hands with the government by starting the restructuring from various homes and the society in order to safeguard the economy in coming years. Olajumoke Oladipupo, Ogtv News.
Worried about the rising insecurity across the country, some senators have insisted that the establishment of the state police remain the only solution to the unfortunate development. The senators, who spoke in separate interviews in Abuja, also allayed the fears of possible abuse of the structure by the state governors. Senator Isifanus Gayag from Plateau State said it was obvious that effective policing could no longer be guaranteed by the current federal structure of the Nigerian Police Force. The spokesperson for the Senate, who is representing Osun Central in the Red Chamber, Senator Ajibola Bashiru, said there was no way insecurity across the country could be effectively neutralized without state police. Osun State Governor Adegboyega Oyetola has ordered the deployment of police officers to Ilobu and Eriosun communities to restore peace. It was gathered that two people, Aziz Adamu and Abdullahi Tairu, were reportedly shot on Saturday following a clash between the communities over a land boundary. The statement by Oyetola's chief press secretary, Ismail Omipindon, also quoted the governor as pleading with the warring groups in Irepo-Odun local government area of the state to sheathe their sword and give peace a chance. Oyetola was said to have given order during a marathon meeting with heads of security agencies in the state on Sunday morning, where the situation in Ilobu and Eriosun was critically examined. The governor said the immediate deployment of armed policemen with support from the army is to restore law and order in the troubled areas. Meanwhile, the Osun State government has declared a 24-hour curfew in Irepo-Odun and Ololu local government areas of the state following the violence that broke out between Ilobu and Eriosun communities on Saturday. The secretary to the state government, Prince Wale Oyebamiji, made this known in a press statement on Sunday titled Osun declares 24-hour curfew in Irepo-Odun, Ololu. He said the curfew was to douse tension in the troubled area where two people were reportedly killed on Saturday. And now to the foreign scene. Pope Francis on Sunday expressed solidarity with the people of Myanmar following last week's military coup, urging the army to work towards democratic coexistence as thousands demonstrate in the streets. The Pope was speaking as tens of thousands of protesters poured onto the streets of Yangon in the biggest rally yet against Monday's military coup. The Pope, who visited Myanmar in 2017, called for social justice, national stability, and harmonious democratic coexistence. There have been reports of large protests on Sunday against the military regime in several cities across Myanmar. Still on the foreign scene, dozens of people are missing and fed dead after a glacier crashed into a dam and triggered a huge flood in northern India. The broken dam prompted a deluge of water to pour through a valley in the state of Uttarakhand. Villagers have been evacuated, but officials warned as many as 150 people may have been victims of the flooding. Video shared on social media showed the flood water streaming through the area and causing widespread damage. At least 3 bodies have been found and 150 people are registered missing. The police have spoken to newsmen about that. Most of those missing were workers of a power project near the bridge dam in the Tapovan area. We shall not have the weather forecast for tomorrow. Before we go, when the power of love overcomes the love of power, the world will know peace. Also, don't forget that Ghana watches live on these platforms: Apple, Roku, Facebook, and Android devices. You can also watch us live on our website, which is www.ogtv.com.ng/live. And that's it on our comprehensive news package for tonight. Thank you very much for watching. I am Olayinka Shodunke. Have a good night.